All right, now we are ready to hear from Kayaker. And Gio is going to be filming.
Somebody said they could spend an hour going through my inventory. No, I'm sure it would take days. And as a matter of fact, I should have queued up a few things because now I'm having to go find them again.
Ah, there's Ruby. Ruby, do you have anything to show? Tell? We're going to hear from Kayaker for a while. He's got a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, actually, I have one idea I wanted to talk about, but I had to start off with these target blimps. Even though they're not what I wanted to talk about, I'm going to need them later. And I could talk about them, but it would take the whole hour because these are freebies and the scripts are full perm, and so you might want to grab a copy, especially after you see what I do with them. And I've been building a lot of weapons and finding ways to get the bugs in OpenSim to let me build weapons because there are a lot of problems. And I could talk about building weapons for a long time, but instead I'm going to talk about just one issue, which is how difficult it is.
One at a time. One thing at a time is desirable.
How difficult it is in all of these virtual worlds to aim turreted weapons. And I built some cannons where you use a dialogue to say turn the cannon left 10 degrees, and well, that's really clumsy. So I built a HUD, and on the HUD you can tell it, you can push on an arrow, and as long as you hold the arrow down, the cannon turns left. And that's better, but it's still hard to aim very accurately with that. And so I recently came up with a new scheme. And let's see if this is what the HUD looks like. Please don't click on it. It actually is live. And sounds, but they haven't loaded yet. But the trick I've discovered is that I can capture the camera angle, what direction my avatar is looking in mouse look mode. So all I have to do is look around, and the cannon turns and points in the direction that I'm looking. So my friends say, "Stop looking at me!" But if I look overhead and then I fire the cannon, I can aim by turning my mouse look view, and it's quite easy to point a big heavy gun like this and shoot things down.
Oh, that's amazing.
They come back up again in 10 seconds, and I forget if this is this is the version of, if somebody wants to try it, if you click on any button on the this HUD, and then go back to your avatar and zoom into mouse look mode, it captures your camera, the last person who touched the HUD, but you have to give it permission, and so you have to hit the tab key twice to move the cursor, the text cursor onto the yes button, and then hit enter. Does anybody want to try and gain control of the gun?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I love Battlegate. Okay, so I touch the HUD and then hit escape back to my, or tab twice. Mouse look.
Talia's asking me, could you repeat that? I'm not sure what that is, but she's wanting something repeated.
I'm not sure. Okay, so click any button on the HUD, go into mouse look mode. Okay, I can't seem to get into mouse look mode.
Ah, yes, directions for control.
Yeah. Someone tell me how to get into mouse look, or maybe I'm just buggy right now. Fleas. I got fleas. I just hit M. Yeah. Nope, M is not doing it.
No, M is not good. That's it's going to be typing. Try view in the mirror.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
View in the menu, okay.
Yeah, I don't have a view.
There is
Okay,
there is a shortcut key, but I don't know what it is.
yeah, someone know what the shortcut key is for mouse look. Yeah, well, it isn't working for me. I must have a setting here somewhere that's...
My microphone cut out. How long has my microphone been silent?
Since I started mucking around with this thing. So, and I'm looking for how to get into mouse look. I'm in Firestorm release 64 4.7, and I can't find it.
Do you have a toolbar? Do you have a toolbar?
No. Oh, toolbar. I've got the toolbar button.
Yeah, down at the bottom, just click on it, right-click on it, and it'll bring up the toolbar, and you can just select mouse look tool.
Mouse look tool. Oh, yes, thank you.
Right.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so then mouse look. Oh, cool. Oops, now I have to control it.
Yeah, your troubles aren't over. You have to give him permission.
Oh, okay. Oh, and then go back into mouse look. Okay, right.
Well, no, yeah, you have to give him permission while you're in mouse look, which means you have to use your keyboard. So you have to hit like tab, and enter in order to answer yes to that.
Okay, so I answered yes. I did it wrong. I'm a great beta tester, by the way. Okay, so this, and then
Mouse
look. And then yes is Y. There's an underlined here. Y. Yes. Okay. I must have been using a different viewer than you are.
I'm seeing a bunch of warning errors.
Yeah, I'm seeing those too, and it's because it's a work in progress. It continues to try and get her camera location, even though she hasn't given permission yet.
I did give permission, but I wasn't able to give permission in mouse look because I couldn't figure out which key to hit.
The way you do it is by hitting the tab key until the yes button lights up, and
okay.
Then hitting the N key to say
Gotcha.
you agree.
I see. Okay.
Now,
okay. So
okay, you're looking around.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, that's good.
what you just did was you pointed the gun straight down and fired, and it blew itself up.
Okay. Okay.
And I think that it disables itself for several minutes. And so what you're going to have to do is get out of mouse look.
Okay.
And
what I thought I
hopefully
was doing was aiming at the balloons up there, but no, apparently not. Okay. Okay, now get out of
I'm going to have to reset it.
Okay.
Now start over again. Click on the on the HUD.
Okay. Then go into mouse look, and then tab. Enter. Okay. Now, okay, I did that. Now I mouse looked up to the blimps, and I thought that's what they were aiming at. So if my mouse cursor is over the blimp, that's when I hit enter or click on it.
I saw the cannon moving, but it wasn't pointing up when you did that.
Huh. Okay. So I tried again.
Get out of mouse look. Let me try something. I want to see if.
Okay. Okay. I'm out of mouse look.
I'm going to reset it again. It didn't seem to take.
Selby knows the bug in there. If there's something that an ordinary user wouldn't find.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
To find some sequence of button pushing that completely destroys it, and
I know what happened. It wasn't synced up anymore. Okay. So try the sequence again.
Okay, clicking.
Click on something like the up or down arrow key.
Mouse arrow, tab, enter. Oh, up and down arrow key. Okay. Now it's pointing up, yeah? So it's pointing at this.
Well, that's safe, but is it turning when you turn your mouse?
Oh, no, it's not.
Yeah, it
Oops,
also makes... So...
Huh.
So try... Let's try one more time.
Okay. Okay,
When
so
you-
click on it again.
Click on one of the... Click on the fire button. Click on something so you know you got its attention.
Okay.
Is it firing?
I clicked fire.
No.
We'd all see.
Okay, one more time.
Click on button. Click on mouse look. Oh, that looks like something's happening. Tab, yes. And now,
Look up.
okay. I can't see the thing while I'm. Oh no, it's still looking straight ahead.
Yeah. Okay, well, it's a work in progress.
Yes. Oh, you bring it here and you find victims. You find other people who
Safe
are not.
direction.
Find people who are not as smart as you are to try it out and see what happens. I love shoot 'em up stuff. I used to love playing in the Angels and Demons sim.
Yeah, you can also aim it by just hitting the arrows around the fire key and then hitting fire,
Ah, okay.
which is what I'm doing now. I suppose
Actually-
anybody...
Let me try.
But the whole point of this exercise was to show that I found a way to aim a gun more rapidly by getting into mouse look mode. And it's actually easier to do that with a single avatar. This demo HUD is to try and let anybody do it, but it has that problem of it has to ask you for permission unless you're wearing it, and that's tripping everybody up.
So it'd be better if you're going to have more than one operator, everyone have the HUD then.
Or a HUD, because the HUD is
Yeah.
automated permission.
You have to have each one would have a HUD for their own gun, right?
Yeah, I've actually done a system of cannons where you could give a HUD to different people, and each HUD can control the same set of guns, or each HUD controls a different set of cannons on a boat, for example.
Mm-hmm. Now we have to hit them, and
Yeah.
they crash.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's it for how to control a gun in mouse look mode.
Cool. Very cool.
We have more time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's something that should be easier for everyone else to try. This pedestal here will give you a gun if you get it in inventory in a directory named Glock. It looks like this one I have in my hand. And when you go into mouse look mode, you can shoot down the blimps with it.
Okay.
And because it's a pistol, it takes a couple of shots to damage the blimp enough to shoot it down. And so you'll have to hit it like 3 or 4 times, and every time you hit it, it jumps, which I thought was a nice.
Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's wonderful. Hey, we could do a modern Hamlet with this and have the Norwegians firing a castle.
Oh, yeah.
I think the actors would like that.
Yeah, the long version of the weapons talk is that there are a lot of bugs in Open Simulator that make doing weapons difficult. One of them is that in mega regions, the cast ray call that I'm using to tell what the gun is pointed at cannot detect terrain outside of the southwest subregion. So if I point at the ground and pull the trigger, nothing happens because the system tells me that there's no terrain there, there's no prim, there's no nothing, and so there isn't anything for the bullet to hit. If I do this in a different location, like I think there's a border over there, well, this gun doesn't have a range. Normally, I have the guns, when you point them at the ground and shoot it, it creates a puff of brown pixels, a puff of dust like you hit the ground. When you hit a prim, it makes a puff of gray. When you hit an avatar, does anybody want to volunteer to get shot?
Sure. Go ahead.
It makes a puff of red.
Oh, of course.
Very good.
Very good.
And
if you
the cannon, the anti-aircraft gun does a similar thing. If you fire a bullet and it falls into the water, it splashes blue. If you hit another prim, it splashes orange, and avatars go red. But of course, a big cannon like that, there's a metering system. It does enough damage to kill an avatar 4 times over.
okay. So if you put, so say for theatrical purpose, what I'm always going for, we could put a blood droplet particle image in that thing so that it would look like flying drops of blood coming out of the avatar when you shot it. That would be very useful.
DG says, what about some nice tin cans to shoot at?
Well, I have all kinds of things to shoot at, one of which is this anti-aircraft gun itself. It seems to be set, it was set to Phantom for some reason. Of course, the system can't detect objects that are Phantom, and so you can't shoot them either. But if I make this anti-aircraft cannon not Phantom, now I can shoot it, and when I do, it damages it.
Oh, wow.
And it will immediately come back up again if you click on the HUD. But if you hit it too many times, or with a weapon that's too powerful, eventually, it's kind of hard to damage it with a pistol. Eventually, it blows up, and it becomes non-operative for 3 minutes while somebody repairs it or replaces it. And let's see, I have, besides the blimps, I have something that's designed to float in the water. It's just floating in the ground right now. And it's like the blimp, that if you hit it enough times... Oh, that's right, I made it really tough, like it's hard to sink boats. But it blows up if you hit it enough times, and then it comes right back and lets you shoot it again.
Okay.
And like I say, I think the pistol does like 25 points of damage, and the that floating target has to take 400 before it sinks. So that's That's 16 shots. Now, let's see, some other bugs in OpenSim. One of them is that when you cast array, which is one of the LSL library calls, to cast array through space and see if it touches anything. And if you do that, for a box like this, it does a pretty good job of detecting where a box is, but on a sculpt, it detects a huge area around the sculpt. So if the sculpt has hollow places or it curves over and you shoot through the middle of an empty hole, it still registers that you hit it, because the cast array call isn't completely implemented in OpenSim yet, and it's just detecting the bounding box around each object instead of detecting the accurate surface. And so if you're in a forest, try and shoot something, it's going to hit, even though they don't look like they're in the way. They have all these huge invisible bounding boxes that get in your way. Another bug in OpenSimulator that you probably didn't notice with this gun is that if you try and aim at something very precisely, the system is supposed to tell me where you're pointing your cursor in mouse look mode. But it turns out it's returning the wrong value. And I've submitted a Mantis on this, and I've gone to the developer meetings, and I've whined and complained, and nobody ever gets around to fixing it. What it's reporting is not the direction that you put your cursor, but the direction that your avatar is facing. And there's up to a 5-degree difference between them. Your avatar, when you rotate, your avatar turns only once every second or so. I don't know if you noticed, my avatar is sort of going jerk, 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 and turning in 5-degree jumps. So you aim carefully at a target and you shoot, and you miss it by 1 degree. So you turn 1 degree to the right and you fire, and it goes back to the same place. And you turn 1 more degree, nothing, nothing, nothing. Then you finally turn 5 degrees, and your aim suddenly jumps 5 degrees, and you miss on the other side of your target. So it's difficult to do accurate target practice in OpenSimulator because the system is reporting the wrong rotation for that cursor. And yet, there's a lot of fun to be had. You can still shoot at things and make them blow up, and so I've been making weapons in OpenSimulator anyway.
That's really. Does it matter what physics engine? I mean, whether it's ODE or Bullet Sim?
Well, that's actually another whole set of bugs, and because there are so many different physics engines in OpenSim, and because they all work different, and because they all have different bugs, I've actually given up completely on physics. So I use cast to decide where a bullet should go, and then I use something called an effects prim. You see that little black dot on the bobbing target. The effects prims are laid down beforehand by someone, and so cast ray. When I pull the trigger, cast ray says I hit this thing over here with my gun, and then it sends out a message, and one of the effects prims jumps up, goes to that spot, and makes an explosion. All that can be done without physics, and so I don't need physics at all anymore. The anti-aircraft gun uses a different technique. It reses a bullet, but it's a non-physical bullet. And that bullet is like a little vehicle. And so the gun, after it reses the bullet, it sends in a message saying, here's the direction you're going, this is how fast you're going, this is what you're supposed to do when you get there. And the bullet for the anti-aircraft gun is like a little vehicle. And it takes off, not using physics, and it flies with non-physical calls, and it does what it's supposed to do. And one of the things it's supposed to do, of course, is if it's a bullet, is it's supposed to travel in a parabolic path. And I like to say that, traveling in a parabola, I don't need the physics engine to do that for me. It's not exact science. Well, wait a minute. A falling bullet is rocket science, and so I actually do to predict or to calculate where would a bullet be in 1 second, in 2 seconds, in 3 seconds, and then not using physics, using just set link primitive parameters fast, I actually moved the bullet from place to fake the physics. And I'm starting to develop this idea that the physics engine is nothing but a hindrance. I don't need the physics engine anymore, and it causes everybody all kinds of problems. And I was thinking about writing a talk for OSCC that says, physics engines, who needs them?
That would be great. I mean, they're already booked for this year, but I think they should squeeze you in for that, because that would be very cool. I don't know anything about scripting, but I've had to learn just enough to know what questions to ask for the theater effects, and we know what problems we've had.
Yeah, well, here's an observation that I would certainly mention in that talk, and that is that what do we use the physics engine for? And people say, well, you have to have the physics engine. It keeps the avatar from falling through the floor, and it makes the avatar fall in gravitational looking effect. But without a lot of special cases, even with Havoc in life, I've had the problem of if the floor moves slightly and your feet for a fraction of a second are suddenly below the floor, the physics engine says, oh, you're not standing on anything, and you fall through the floor. So the physics engine has to have a special case code. I know PhysX in Worlds has all kinds of special case code to detect the feet of the avatar. And if the feet of the avatar are below the floor, but the rest of the avatar doesn't, you can see them dragging the avatar back up until it's above the floor. And so physics isn't keeping the avatar above the floor. All this special case code is. And so you could get rid of physics and avatars would not fall through the floor. And well, what else are physics good for? Well, they're good for making bullets travel in parabolic paths. And yet the developers of OpenSim and a lot of other people, you hear them say, oh yes, but we really should fix cast ray, because bullets traveling on parabolic paths like that are very hard on the server. The server has to do a lot of work to calculate all this physics. We would be better off if everybody used cast ray and stopped using physics for bullets. And so, well, in the case even of my anti-aircraft gun, I have each bullet do its own physics and fly through the air in a parabolic path. And so, okay, we don't need the physics engine to make bullets travel in parabolic paths. We'll use cast ray for all of our weapons, and we'll fake the physics. Okay. I coming up with more and more reasons why I don't care whether there's a physics engine in my virtual world or not.
That's really interesting. That would be very, we had a lot of problems in one of the video productions trying to use ODE because we kept falling through the ground. And then when we switched to Bullet Sim, that fixed it. But then the Elon was IMing me saying, hey, you're overstressing the server. So you can't put that many people on there at the same. So our compromise was to use Bullet Sim and then to use NPCs to cut down on the number of avatars there, and that was our solution. But that's a pretty clunky solution.
I have certainly had being a and having been a coder in real life for a decade. I loved coming to worlds because you mean I strip every object in the world. I want to strip every blade of grass in every tree, and of course that causes problems on Kitely.
Yeah, anywhere actually, but
every time you start your region over again, which happens every time you go away for a few minutes in Kitely, the server has to restart all those scripts in every blade of grass, and so I have to control and not put a script in every blade of grass.
Right.
And yet, if I wanted to do physics, the way I would do it is every object I own that needs physics, well, I would just write it myself. I would put it in the bullets. I would put it in the feet of my avatar. I would put it only in the places where I needed it, and then I wouldn't need the server itself to do physics for me anymore.
Oh, that's brilliant. So you're just talking about a complete rewrite of the whole, not a complete rewrite, but just a,
I'm kind of about hi-fi, because the people working on hi-fi, it sounds like they're really focusing on scripting from the very beginning, and as I understand it, they don't have a physics engine yet.
That's my understanding. Yeah, I've got an alpha character over there, but I haven't had time to go play with it. Yeah, that's my understanding.
Yeah, so I think maybe I should abandon OpenSim and immediately run to Hi-Fi and tell them, you don't need a physics engine, watch this.
Yes, because if they're the next big thing, and they may be, we may be all over there in a year or two, then getting, avoiding errors at the beginning there is a great idea.
Hacker, would you like to write a guest, an invited post on my blog telling all that?
Well, tell you what, I'll sit down and try and organize my thoughts and send you something.
Okay, that's good.
We have people who can help you write it. In fact, Selby would rather you didn't write it. He'd rather you had a bulleted list.
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I would recommend starting to think that way, and then if you need to talk more, you can add stuff, or you can use a bulleted list and then break that up into paragraphs and have headings for all your paragraphs.
For those who came late, this giver in front of me gives away a demo version of a gun, and you can use it to shoot down the blimps overhead.
Such as? Now that really works. Without any special knowledge of mine or that's just freaking brilliant. Put on the gun and shoot. That's, I assume you've got scripts and the things up there, but yeah.
Well, some people, I've had newbies, and not everybody knows, go into mouse.
You're breaking up. Your sound's breaking up.
Hello?
Hello? Yeah. You were breaking up. I could only get every other syllable in there.
How's that?
That sounds better. Yeah.
I was saying that I've run into newbies who don't understand that the standard way to shoot a weapon in all these places like Second Life is to go into mouse look mode, put your cursor on something, and hit the left mouse button, and so you have to sometimes make sure everybody knows that.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's right. I did already know that. I knew more than I thought I. But we do like to use a lot of this stuff in theater productions. Audiences freaking love it if you blow something up on stage. I mean, they do. And they'll hang around for hours afterwards asking for copies of the thing so they can go home and blow it up. It's a wonderful theatrical device, and it works in everything from Shakespeare to stuff that was written last week. If we can get it simple enough so the actors can just, mouse look and do it. That's critical.
Yeah. Well, do you notice, I don't know if everybody's viewer can see it, but the explosions that I'm using are using the glow feature, which is fairly new. And so explosions look very wonderful compared to what they used to look like just a year ago.
Yeah, they do look good. Yeah, texture is something I do know something about, and there's also, it's probably possible. I have to think about this, to use the new what am I trying to say? The specular maps and the normal maps, or the specular maps anyway, to get some of the textures to pop. But I don't know. This is good enough. This is if you try to do too much, then it drags everything down in terms of storytelling.
Is there a specular option in a particle?
It's in the texture. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't tried it. I mean, I use Glow a lot, and I'm just starting to learn how to effective. I mean, I've been using them for a long time, but I haven't been very good at it. Put a specular map in there, and I don't know if it would work. I haven't tried it. That's definitely something I'm going to try.
I've been starting to experiment a little bit with it myself, and you can, because it's an alpha texture, you put it in the alpha texture just like you do any other one. Maybe change up the texture, like maybe to 50% so that you don't get any flicker, because that was the problem before.
Yeah.
And then you can even add a normal and specular map to it, set it way up to 255, and let me put it this way, as you walk by it, it will look like it's sparkling, or if you had it in movement going across you, it would look like it was sparkling. It's a particle.
Yeah, it's really amazing some of the effects I've been seeing in OS Grid and OpenSim and all that. And they're getting more spectacular. Matter of fact, you can do things in OpenSim that you can't do in Second Life.
Yes. Yeah.
I've personally sort of abandoned Second Life. I build things here, and people see them and they go, "Oh, do you do that in Second Life?" And I go, "Well, if you insist, if you pay me extra for the trouble to go back there."
Yeah. It costs too much.
Don't bother.
What? You've been videoing this without?
Are you kidding? That's an old damn cache bug again in viewers, because they shouldn't do that. Yeah, see, it's just, damn them. A bug that should have been fixed years ago, and it's never been fixed. It's because of their crappy programming and viewers and storing cache like they do.
It really is.
Definitely far better.
Selby, we should consider moving the sandbox to the southwest corner. If that's the sim that works best, that's where we should put the sandbox. Wouldn't be hard to do.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Well, for me, it's a good test to make sure things do work in other corners.
True, but yeah, NPCs work better.
It also depends on your resources of that one region anyway. I tried telling Lynn Labs the same thing, they ignore me. It's all about resources and sharing resources.
Yeah, that's why we're here in Kitely, is because if I have a resource issue, I can talk to Elon and he'll tell me what I can and can't do and why, and there's no, and we'll deal with it.
We're going to have Kitely meeting, another Kitely meeting is going to start in just a few minutes. Actually 9 minutes. So we're going to have to wind up here, or at least some of us are going to leave. But this is to let you know. And let me remind everybody, this was filmed. We have a video of it. It will be out on video shortly. And
oh dear.
I will post it, once it's out on video, I will post it on my blog. And if you look back at the fence, you'll see a whole bunch of white panels, which probably will show you the other articles that have been done, including other videos about the WIP show.
Okay. And for those who were late and didn't hear this, the blimp should be for sale for $0. It's full perm, including even the script inside, so you can grab that that explosive particle setup.
Yeah.
If it's not full perm, come and complain to me later.